season that obviously Henjan as Chapix won. Right now, they're coming back together, so close, so ready for that first place. And like, they were so close in season 5. We're in season 8 now. It's the end of the year in comparison to the start of the year. These guys are ready to try and take it, but there's 3 other hungry teams out there who are also playing out of their minds.
The best storyline, the thing we could have never predicted, Reese. I love that you tied this up in a ribbon for us, but now we need the bow on top. 2 more games, Fortnite fam. This could still go any which way, so it's time to find out how this continues to unfold. This is game number 11 of the Grand Royale in EU.
Didn't we tell you, folks? Don't go anywhere. It is exciting. It is the best region when it comes to like just competitive play. You're seeing it all right now, and we have the big names are just putting on a show, Shio.
Yeah, and usually it's a one-page show. It's a very short play. It's just the top 5 teams that have a little bit of a line in the conversation. Right now, we got the full book, Sancho West. We have the bottom placing teams also still fighting. Aqua finally waking up Reason with a crazy height retake, making it interesting on all sides of the board.
And 2 games are left. And at the end of those 2 games, someone's going to walk away with $600,000. That's 200. What's that math? $200,000 a piece. And I'm going to walk away with a fancy keyboard if I won that grand prize. It's game 11, folks. Let's go. Can Andretta, Savage, and Benji survive this off-drop fight between Mustache and Shizo and Malabuka? Wait a minute. Hold the phone. No. Hold the phone. Hold the phone. This is gonna have ripple effects in the next season. But Savage gets knocked by ETQ. The flyby.
What is going on? So ETQ Pink obviously having a lot of struggles overall from their side of the map. I'm not even sure if I have that trio correct. ETQ, I think, is on a separate team entirely. We'll see just
Hottie and
Elo Press. Hottie Elo Press. So definitely something going on the top side of the map. Maybe they got to land first and have a few beams over at the top side of the mountain that's right beside Steamy Stacks, but Malibu and Shizo Mustache are actually alling in on this watch. That pool actually there on Savage, so something's going on at Steamy Stacks. Maybe some of these teams on the back end of things are trying to go where the chaos is. They assume that Mustache, Malibu, and Shizo are still fighting Savage. They want to have as many eliminations as possible. A chance for them, really, right? What's the best way to get Elim, Sancho?
Just go right for it.
Third party, right? Third party as well. Go right for it. Go for the third party. If you know guaranteed every game that Mustache is getting knocked, Benji's getting knocked, the best place to find Elims is Steamy Stacks. So maybe these bottom placing teams, to double up the money they're going to win out here to make the difference, especially when the points are doubled up, they want to fight Savage. Mustache and Malabuka aren't there. They're creating their own third party fights. What's going on here?
I feel like making this meme joke. It's the last game of the season. You got to try it. It always feels that way. You know what I mean? It's the last 2 games of the FNCS season. Literally the last 2 games of the year. And Malabuka and co pull out this play of going down the corny. And Savage, I think they're going to bring him back eventually, no doubt. But still, Deceptos gets an elimination and Alex, but wow, what a shakeup. I mean, it just lets you know that these entire games that we've been watching have been kind of consistent. They've been playing out to form, but Fortnite's going to Fortnite, and they're going to mix it up here in the last 2 frames.
Yeah, this mix-up gets both ingredients really close to each other. X-Squeeze, 4ZR, and Alex been completely separate in different bakeries the entire day. No chance for them to actually have a shot at Deceptos whatsoever. Deceptos lands at the islands, they move, especially in this zone. This time though, Sancho, when Elims are 4 points a pop, when you take out a trio and you get 12 points plus a little bit of placement, Deceptos is there to fight just like it's season 5. Like, this is gonna get absolutely dirty, intense over here at Misty Meadows. Might have to change the POI name after they're done with it in this last 2 games. And already Endlix down. I find him going down early on over and over again. Not sure what's happening inside this trio, but they're going to be one leg out of the race as Ziptos, Floki, and Clement actually claim Misty Meadows for the first time.
We are finally seeing the EU aggression that it's known for, where all of a sudden, when everything is coming down to the closing, when it's closing time, people go into their playbooks, reach for those final trick plays, and all of a sudden getting those eliminations. So that first Storm Surge is going to be a factor, considering that not a lot of people may see that first checkpoint, as Sundown would like to point out. So Tyson, Hen, and Chapix, who have been on the borderline throughout the entire day with Storm Surge being like 90, 80 above, they have to be very wary of that going forward.
Yeah, don't let Benji, Savage, Steamy Stacks, and all these teams diving in distract you from the fact that Jason Hen and Chapix, 441 points, are tied for first place right now with Janice Fadil. Noah Riley.
Exactly. Wow.
Yeah. Like, when you're looking at things right now as well, the last game we watched from Tayson, somehow they're first and they're not playing perfect, Sancho. They're not at their full power level. They're not playing as a team really off of this POI. They're doing their own thing. It's working out. They're in good spots. They start on height and win games, but they're down on surge sometimes. Sometimes it's a one-man show at endgame. There's no tarper that I can identify for that team at all. Meanwhile, Badul, O'Reilly, Janice, they're doing everything correctly. It seems like they're playing perfectly, but they can't separate themselves from the pack.
And remember, Janice went down in one of those early engagements on their rotate. So Badil and Noah Riley were working with their leader in the pack. And wow, there's so much action. Let's take a look at some of the replays that's happened here for the Osspine engagements. As you see in here, Indretta, Savage, and Benji bringing them back, so they're going to be fine. But still, a lot of money up for grabs for everything. And Sky gets doubled right there and eliminated. 4 points converted. All the madness on the island is happening, and still, Thomas HD, I always love this. You know, he understands he's probably been shot in the back before doing this strategy, so that's why he's building that on meta.
He understands, but I think Sky is the one who gave him that PTSD over and over again. You know, they get contested here sometimes, especially with this new age thing, especially with all the cash cups. But the fact there that, you know, in game time we have so many reboots as well rolling in, every team is kind of cleaning up fights fast, maybe just rolling one player off as a cost and then getting everybody back in the game. That's pretty good.
And we saw that Sapphire and Shades in the NA West region, the most reboots that's ever happened here, 10 plus. So, hey, teams are bringing them back. No doubt that has been a change for the reboot card being longer and the change that you don't have to pick it up. We've been seeing its effects not only in the competitive scene, but in pubs. It's always nice just to be able to drive over a card and get your player back in with all the time. But Cammy, Seti T, trying to defend their crown. They're still within the conversation. Of course, they're right there. We've seen them be able to do it, but it's only 20 points or so. So it's like they're right behind them. So it's very close.
No matter what zone it is, these guys are always there and they're always playing consistently, right? They don't really skip it on any games. If you're talking about conversations and who's kind of in the room, people who are getting quieter right now and will be probably super quiet this game as well, Queasy, Anas, Thomas HD. The reason they were playing so well yesterday, mountain zones, retail row, they literally have a perfect game plan every time the game goes towards the eastern section of the map, anywhere near Dirty Dogs. That is literally their playground. I could honestly bet for a victory royale, and I would have a high chance of that being possible inside this lobby with Queasy and Thomas HD. The issue is they're not getting any zones today, Sancho. They don't have a position of control. They're always leaving, and people are getting more desperate. Aqua diving in, taking 50 damage of the storm to have high ground. Queasy can't even handle the people who are trying to contest and pop around him. It's too chaotic, too much energy. And they're struggling here for their win condition.
Take a look at the mini-map. You're seeing it is a central zone. That is the home zone, and that is Boney Burbs. You see right there those blue arrows right above Boney Burbs. That's Aqua's trio. And if they could string together these last two games, they could inch their way closer and closer. And the reason why I picked them, honestly, is because of this day two factor. If they get high ground, they've known to get those double-digit eliminations. And you talked about stealing points. They will steal points away from anyone that likes to play height. And that's going to be sometimes the Queasies of the world, the Taysons of the world. Like Tayson's game with the trio, they're very flexible, but no doubt they want to be on height to avoid Cammy, Seti, and Teak on the low ground.
If they end up at low ground, though, I'll already give the play of the tournament here to Tayson, possibly. I said it when it happened last game. It might not be the most
Riley one was hot. That Noah Riley was hot.
Noah Riley popped off and might have the best clutch overall, but Tayson, the fact that you're that low by yourself and you convert on a team in the top 5 in a game where you can't really win, clutches like that are unseen go so far inside your 12-game tournament overall, especially when there's double points. Let's take a look at Kiriachi real quick. How things are fighting off spawn at Sludgy Swamp. He's still active. Blotch, I feel like, is getting into so many fights over the 2 days, and they also have to deal with Crow on the other side. This is going to be tough, so a little bit overwhelming overall. Also, looking at the replays, you can see 4-0 going down in the feed to Clement. So super early, that hunt still going down. The Misty team being fully converted on. Badil, Janice, Noah Riley, they're not going to be part of any of that action. Sancho's really good that they just get to stay invisible as well from Believer Beach.
Just to pick up what Reese said during the break, if you didn't miss it, Badil and Noah Riley have been in this position before. They've been in a top 2 situation going through the end game, and they went down because a third-party Bolt sniper took out Noah Riley in the back. And all of a sudden, that opened the door for him, Janice, and Chapik at the time to do that $100,000 box fight. You and I, Shia, we were at front row seat. We saw that all. Right now, there's still a couple games to work with here. But still, you no doubt that's in the back of Adil Noah Riley's mind, considering they were right in the running. They were right there. They were a couple rotations away. And Janice being able to be, that's kind of like wild to see that only in Fortnite, someone that took away your championship run is now on their team. So it's just so wild to see.
What's even wilder too is the fact that I feel like both teams kind of missed the alarm clock this game. That being Tayson and Janice. When they're rolling in, and you can kind of combine the name if you want, but overall they already have elims when they start out, right? A little bit earlier on in the mid game, maybe they're going for a box fight type of scenario. We saw it multiple times from Adil Noah Riley. Now they're playing it safe. Even in the top 4 though, this isn't the safest as you can be if you don't hit the shots. Janice, that's beautiful with the legendary burst they are. In these spots, Sancho, we find even the best teams down on Surge, but it looks like Janice is ahead of the pack. Seti Kemi Teak, they've been struggling. They go for this 2-box diagonal base and they look for shots. They never really land them, and they're just double digits on Surge.
The reason why I said uh-oh is because Crow and Co is right there looming in the distance. They're really far off, but if they're going to be part of this rotational wedge, they got to be careful. Kami Seti Teak, if Crow's trio is under Surge, they will barrel stuff. They will go all out, and they will be able to disrupt the clean rotation that Kami Seti and Teak are known for. And just look at this. They rotated all the way from the crash site, rotating through the south of the onto the dead side, where we saw Kirachi already go down. So this whole south region, Shio, is looking really clean.
Really clean, but also very different. I like the fact you bring up that Kiriachi's actually down. For these top 5 teams in practice right now, right? You can see them on the left side of your field. In finals, in these lobbies, Kiriachi is usually the one dictating what happens on the south side zone, especially when it wraps up over here. With him being down, they're not going to be used to exactly what goes down, what these high ground trios will be doing, what the game looks like. This will be brand new for every team here. I think Teak, Seti, and Kami will be the least affected because they like to roll in at low ground. They're also ones with a lot of pressure to catch up, right? Who's the Anasamas HD, Sancho? They missed like half a game. They fell back about 50 points. Now you're looking at Seti Kami Teak. They still had a good game, but they're behind that first place team, and they're only going to fall further back